been a while since we've spoken with our good friend Fleur Hassan-Nahoum. Fleur is the one-time deputy mayor of the holy city of Jerusalem, and now is Israel, the state of Israel, special envoy for innovation. And she is in the United States launching Campus Israel. Campus Israel, a new not-for-profit being developed to connect students from across the diaspora with learning and degree pathways at Israel's leading academic institutions. Fleur Hassan-Nahoum, a pleasure to welcome you back to JM in the AM.
Good morning, Nachum. Really wonderful to be back.
I appreciate that. You know, it's funny when we talk, when anybody in this country talks about the topic of campus and Israel, it's very different from what you're doing. Here we are very concerned with how Israel's being portrayed on college campuses, and I assume what you're doing, and you'll explain, but I assume what you're doing is trying to bring to the students in the diaspora the possibility of actually getting their degree and becoming educated in the state of Israel. Tell us what Campus Israel is all about.
Exactly. You said it. So, we're in a situation where we have these incredible academic institutions in the state of Israel. As everything that Israel does, we punch above our weight. And our academics are top class, world class, globally recognized. You have in the list of top 20 universities around the world that have the top unicorn founders. The most of these universities are American, but in the top 10, 2 of them are Israeli. Wow. And so you have this incredible asset. And now you have more and more degrees being taught in English, because I don't assume that anybody could do, academic Hebrew enough to do a degree. So you don't need to. They have tons of courses in English. And what I'm saying is, instead of having to go here and suffer discrimination and pay through the nose, you can get a full degree in Israel for the price of 1 year tuition in America. Why not? Why is this not a possibility? And I realize that most people just don't know that they can do that. Most people don't know that it's available. Most people don't know that it's recognized everywhere in the world, that it's recognized back in America. When they finish, they want to come back. And most people also wouldn't know the first thing about applying. So basically we we created a platform that makes it all really easy, tells you all the different options available, and then helps you apply. And we kind of hold your hand through the whole process. When you get to Israel, we help you with anything you need to acclimatize. We help you with internships if that's what you want. We help you basically get everything together to have the best career possible. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to spread the word.
It's funny because many times when there are initiatives that try to attract students in the diaspora, especially those who aren't generally connected, whose families haven't traveled to Israel a lot or at all during their lifetimes, et cetera, I'm always shocked by how many really do express interest and how many actually want to do these types of programs, want to figure out a way to actually get to Israel and participate in these types of programs. What has been the reaction so far? I don't know if this is really early and it's hard for you to describe any real reaction, but how are Jews in the diaspora, especially those, again, who you don't think are as connected to Israel as others, how are they reacting to Campus Israel?
Well, we've started with the Jews that are more connected. We are going to be moving also to the Jews who are not connected. Right. What do I mean? I've started with the Jewish day schools. And let me tell you, this was an instinct that I had, that this is something we needed to do. Now my instinct has been completely validated. We did 3 college fair nights in Jewish schools this week, and our booth was completely oversubscribed. There was people lining up, and they were like, wow, we were thinking about it. We didn't know how to do it, and now you've given us a way to do it. And they were thrilled. We have our own advisor. She's got tons and tons of people who want to have a one-on-one meeting with her to understand the options. And the platform is coming out next week, so that'll be a very easy way for people for it to become very accessible to everyone. The next thing is I'm going to go to the schools that are not the public schools with high Jewish population. situations,
right.
and so on. So it's very exciting. The reaction has given me a lot of hope that this is what people need in this moment.
It is amazing how many young people, they want to pursue a degree, they want to pursue a career, and if somehow Israel is involved in it, it just attracts them even more. And it's mind-boggling sometimes to think that they want to travel thousands of miles and, start a part of their life as a new life in a different country, even though, again, some might be somewhat familiar with Israel. But that attraction of Israel is unbelievable. And I know that you're obviously somebody who could speak to this, but I mean, the pull, the magnet that Israel is for Jewish students and Jewish young people around the world is really amazing. Do you ever stop and say to yourself, it's incredible just how much they want to be in the Holy Land?
Well, the Jewish people are an incredible people. And, I mean, you don't have to really, it doesn't take a genius to understand that the vibe in Israel, we're going to use young language, the atmosphere in Israel is, even after this war, you should walk around. Yom Ha'atzmaut was nuts. They had to close down a concert because there were so many people. People love life, and that is a Jewish thing. We love life. People like to go out, like to have fun. It's almost like because we live under some certain threats, we almost want to live life out loud even more. And that is very much also reflected, as you can imagine, on campuses here. And you don't have to deal with being a visible Jew or not being a visible Jew and getting harassed or having to hide who you are. Or, what we're going to be creating is young people who are connected to Israel, who are proud to be Jewish, who know their country, their people, who know their homeland, and who are going to come back and be the best ambassadors for the Jewish people and for Israel that exists.
Yeah, plus, of course, the ulterior motive, and that is who knows how many of them are actually going to live and establish their own roots and their own families in Israel eventually, right?
Some may stay and some may come back, but either way, you're getting a 3-year, most degrees are 3 years and not 4 in Israel. Right. Like I said, extremely affordable compared to what it costs here. And top-class academics, and also, being in the atmosphere of the startup nation with all its incredible innovation and things that are coming out of Israel. So it's a win-win for everyone, and I hope people embrace this opportunity.
Fleur Hassan-Nahoum is with us. We're talking about Campus Israel, the brand new initiative being developed to connect students from around the diaspora with learning and degree pathways at Israel's leading academic institutions. I want to ask you about another topic, but before I do, is there a website? How do people get information? How can people learn more about Campus Israel?
Sure. So the website's going up next week, but it's basically campusisrael.com.
Simple as that. And anybody out there who wants more information can go there. And we encourage everybody to put this on your list. Put this on your list of possibilities. Tell your children and grandchildren as well, those who are of age in high school or the beginning of college. Let them know that this possibility exists. The website will be campusisrael.com. I gotta ask you about another area of expertise that you have. I don't know how many times I've seen you on Fox News. They keep playing that interview with you about...
Oh, with the Abraham Accord.
Yes. I mean, I feel like I see you on a daily basis, frankly.
Oh, my God.
But what do you think coming out of this war? And with the atmosphere in the Middle East right now, you're very familiar with the attitude of those in the UAE and other Abraham Accord partners, what their attitude is toward, future investing with and working, technologically and in general, in business with representatives of the state of Israel. You know that space really, really well. Has any of it changed? Is their attitude and their enthusiasm the same as it was many months ago?
Well, that's a great question, and we have to look back as to has anything changed since October the 7th. And I think that people don't talk enough about the fact that it's almost a miracle that when you think about the Abraham Accord that was signed in 2020, that you would think that they would survive essentially a regional war where Israel has been attacked by Arab proxies of the Iranian regime, the massacre that happened in Gaza, and everything else, everything else that we've been through, and the way the media has portrayed everything so against Israel. It's a miracle that business it was business as usual with the UAE.
Wow.
We finished, it was amazing. We finished last year with up 20% of trade from the year before. The year before also up 20% from the year before. So the trade did not get affected. Would there have been more trade? Had there not been a war? I'm sure there would have. But we have to give credit to the fact that there was business as usual. Now, I think after this war, it's going to be I think there's going to be incredible growth, actually, of trade, because we've seen ourselves in the same side of this conflict. They were attacked, Nachum, 4 times as much as we were.
Right.
They received 4 times the rocket and drone attacks that we did.
Right.
That is crazy.
Right.
And, of course, the Saudis also, and the Bahrainis were attacked. And so I actually believe that after this war, please God, may it come soon, and may this terrible regime fall, that we're going to be seeing a new era of prosperity in the region, new alliances, potentially what everybody's talking about is this corridor from India through the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Israel, to Europe for trade. So I think the whole thing, there's going to be a regional realignment, and please God, there will be a free Iran, which is also part of this.
Amazing. Really incredible. And look, and I'm not saying this cynically. I'm really not saying this cynically at all. The UAE and the partners realize what the future is all about. They realize that the future, if it's going to include prosperity, has to be with a peaceful relationship with Israel. Simple as that.
Well, they realize that before anyone. They realized that in 2020.
Right.
But what's incredible is that they didn't get distracted by all the noise around the war that we suffered since October the 7th. They didn't, you're not going to see a free Palestine protest in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
they've got things controlled over there.
It's amazing what we have on Columbia University's campus that they don't have over there.
Exactly. Look, let me tell you even more. There's a university in Abu Dhabi. I think it might have been NYU Abu Dhabi, which is ironic considering what goes on here. Mm-hmm. And there's one student graduates. He gets up on stage, one student with a kafir. He says Free Palestine. Within 10 hours, that kid was on a plane out of the country. They didn't give him his degree, and they kicked him out. That's just to show you what they do there.
They mean business, to say in more ways than one. Fleur Hassan-Nahoum reminds everybody that Campus Israel has been launched. It's developed to connect students from around the diaspora, all around the world, especially here in North America, with learning and degree pathways at Israel's leading academic institutions. Starting next week, you'll be able to look up all the information at campusisrael.com, and we certainly hope that everybody out there, especially those who are or have relatives who are college age or high school age, take this option very seriously. Fleur, great reuniting in this fashion. Thanks so much for bringing this initiative to us.
Thank you so much.
I hope things are good in Jerusalem. Are you being disturbed by light rail construction, or you're managing okay?
Oh my God. Well, they've basically destroyed Emek Rephaim, the high street near my house. But you know what it's like in Israel. They found another way to go out and have fun. They've got restaurants all the way down the train path, the old the Mesilah Park. So we're good. We're surviving. That's the least of our problems. And
it only means progress, right? It only means progress.
It's slow progress, but hopefully we'll get there.
Tadar Rabban, Shabbat Shalom to you.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, Nachum. Take care.
Fleur Hassan-Nahoum, former Jerusalem deputy mayor, Israel's special envoy for innovation, with us on a Friday morning Erev Shabbos at JM in the AM.